Welcome back to AM 590, 99.7 on your FM dial and everywhere at newsradioklbj.com. Let's give them the business. It's brought to you by Pinballs. That's Pinballs with a Z, pinballs.com. There's a new report that shows the number of cyber attacks are staggeringly high. Newsman Eben Brown explains.
Microsoft claims each day users of its products around the world are subjected to 600 million cyber threats. The figure is a key finding in Microsoft's Digital Defense Report for 2024, which says most of the culprits are nation-state actors seeking financial gain. But they've also been focusing on educational institutions, socially engineering victims into giving over login credentials. Cyber defense, though, is becoming more robust, using artificial intelligence to learn about and outwit the attackers. Eben Brown, Fox News.
More people are falling into homelessness as the homeless crisis continues to build all across the country. Here in Texas, cities are trying to reverse that trend, and a nonprofit is starting a project to help people form a community.
Our Calling used $15 million in donations to buy 280 acres of land near Ferris.
Jesus said to love your neighbor as yourself. After he said, love the Lord with all you got. And we are striving to do that every day.
Chief Executive Wayne Walker says they'll provide homes to homeless people who are elderly or cannot take care of themselves.
Imagine a grocery store on site, a medical clinic on site, a cafeteria serving 3 meals a day.
They're starting with 25 homes but hope to build 500. Campaign co-chair Scott Turner says they want to provide a place for people to live out their lives with dignity and among friends.
I'm believing that God will use this as a prototype and as a great blessing for our country to how we can alleviate poverty.
People will pay rent using their benefits or by working in the community.
It is newsman Alan Skaya reporting. A round of layoffs is coming for employees at Intel here in Austin. According to the Texas Workforce Commission, about 250 people will see their jobs cut beginning next month. It's part of a larger cut of the Intel workforce that will affect 15,000 employees. Intel says that that's about 15% of its total workforce. A proposed rate hike on Texas windstorm insurance has been slapped down.
The 10% hike floated by the Texas Windstorm Insurance Association, or TWIA, would have affected about 250,000 homeowners and businesses along the coast, according to the Houston Chronicle. TWIA cited growing risks from extreme weather events, but the Texas Department of Insurance called the proposed hike unjust and unfair to coastal communities. State Representative Todd Hunter sharing the news on X.
The Texas Department of Insurance listened to the public, where TWIA did not. They were more interested in raising rates. But the good news, the public, the taxpayer, coastal residents made a difference.
Hunter adds the state legislature will now do what it can to come up with a fair plan for all of Texas.
That is reporter Kristen Yates. It is 5:52. Employees at an Austin, Texas pizzeria pummeled an alleged would-be thief after he came in with a gun demanding cash. Newsman Ted Linder explains.
Cops say 19-year-old Richard Curtis flashed his gun and presented a note demanding money. They say that's when one of the workers grabbed Curtis and put him in a chokehold as another employee called the police. Police say the pizza place manager then grabbed the gun, but it misfired when he tried to shoot Curtis, so he pummeled his face with the handle, then grabbed a knife from the kitchen and gave Curtis an ultimatum: prison or death. Curtis reportedly said prison and stopped fighting. Curtis is now charged with aggravated robbery. Ted Lindner, Fox News.
It is 5:53.
I'm Chad Pergram with the Speaker's Lobby. President Biden, Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas, and dozens of bipartisan lawmakers demand that congressional leaders recall the House and Senate to address Hurricanes Milton and Helene. President Biden has the power to summon lawmakers back to Washington if he wants, with a big caveat. Article 2, Section 3 of the Constitution says the president, quote, may, on extraordinary occasions, convene both houses or either of them. However, both the House and Senate are not in the proper parliamentary posture for a presidential recall. The House and Senate are not adjourned. They are technically in session. Before leaving in late September, both the House and Senate failed to approve what we call an adjournment resolution. This forces the House and Senate to gavel in briefly with a skeleton crew to meet the constitutional requirement of huddling every 3 days. The House and Senate will continue meeting at regular 3-day intervals until after the election. So under this parliamentary disposition, it would be up to House Speaker Mike Johnson and Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer to recall lawmakers and not President Biden. With the Speaker's Lobby, Chad Pergram, Fox News.
All right, stay close. We've got traffic, your forecast, the day's top stories, of course. And, well, you could join us throughout the morning at 512-836-0590. The Todd and Oz Show straight ahead.
The Todd and Oz Show.